Shalom family and welcome once again to Just the Word Shorts. Yashar'AL, and we are here for yet another video. Today we are going to be looking at self-control, without which there is no perfection. We are going to show you the value of self-control for our salvation and show you where, the different aspects of self-control, how it is in the Bible, and we actually do not really realize that it is there, and we are going to show you how critical it is to understand this. All right, watch this video. Remember when the serpent went to Eve? It was a lack of self-control, because we got to look at the different stages that you go through with self-control by looking at that. For almost every week we look into this first sin. It's a lack of self-control that made Eve unable to control herself, that made her to sin. And it is this lack of self-control that made Adam go and follow Eve and step also into sin. Without self-control, people, we are going to lapse into sin, without a doubt. Let's go to the book of Genesis chapter 2, verse 15. We're going to look at the command and the judgment. So, with self-control for us as believers, we're not talking about people in this world. For us as believers, we are given a command, because we are given the book. Now, when we are given the commands, we are told what to do and what not to do. So we know right from wrong. So let's start at the command and the judgment. Genesis 2, verses 15 to 17. Go ahead, please.
And Yashar'AL took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And Yashar'AL commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die.
Thou shalt surely die. So Yashar'AL commanded the man, that's verse 16. And he told him, this is the command. Thou shalt not eat of it. That is the command. But along with the command comes the judgment. In the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. That is the judgment. So they were given the command and they were given the judgment. But then comes, always after that, the temptation. Genesis 3, verse 1. The temptation. Go ahead, please.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yashar'AL had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath Yahuwah said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden.
So the temptation came with the tempter. Yeah, Yahuwah said, You shall not eat of the tree of the garden. So, when we are tempted, the first thing that comes to us is the command. And the woman acknowledged the command. We may eat of the fruit of the tree of the garden. She acknowledged the command. Continue.
But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahuwah hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Lest ye die. So that is the judgment. She is telling you the command. Yahuwah said we must not eat of it, and then lest we die. So, acknowledgement of the command comes after we are tempted. So, whenever we are tempted to do something that is sinful, we are reminded of what is commanded. And this has happened to me so many times. And after you do it, you remember the command. But then, after we acknowledge the command, the tempter continues to work on our desire. This is where the lusts and the desires and the self now comes in. Because the self now tells you that you need this, or you have to have this. You must have this. I want this. Genesis 3 verse 4.
And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die.
That is when you have the impulses now to sin. You shall not surely die. And then what happens after that?
For Yahuwah doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
So there is the incentive now. After you acknowledge the command and the temptation comes again to you, there is this angel of iniquity, angel of wickedness, that is there with you that say, no man, if you partake of it, nothing will happen. Yeah? Nothing at all will happen. You are good. As a matter of fact, if you do it, then you will be okay. Everything will be all right, and you will make you better, and whatever, whatever. But, verse 6.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
So this is where self-control should have come in. Man, how many times has this happened to me? Yes? It makes you feel so ashamed when you see all of these things here. When all of these things came upon her, verse 6 is where self-control is required. Right there. But guess what comes in? The emotions, the passions, the desires, the lusts. And when that comes in, and there is no conscience, because what should have happened here with Kwa is that Kwa should have had a conscience of sin, that she says, no, I am not going to do that because of the fear of Yahuwah. I'm not going to do that because if I do that, Yahuwah said I must not do it. And if I do it, I am going to sin. No, there was no conscience there. It says, when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, so everything there is in the natural, not thinking about the spiritual. Because the spiritual is invisible now. So if you don't have a conscience, you will not think about the spiritual. This is how we sin, people. And that it was pleasant to the eyes and a tree to be desired to make one wise. That worldly, carnal thing that you look on. That is what? And that is why it says the carnal mind is enmity with Alua. It cannot please Alua. Because as long as the mind is carnal, looking on carnal things, the mind will sin. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So then now, the lack of self-control leads us to sin. Verse 7.
And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons.
All right, so that is sin. Nakedness is sin.